Hi everybody, this is week number 13, I believe it is, in the Global Conversation. It's the 11th of my mini lectures. We're getting towards the end. I know a number of you are working very, very hard on the Learning Circle projects, and I'm deeply appreciative of that. We're going to review that over the summertime, exactly how we organize those, because I know some of you have had some confusion about it, but I hope it's worked out pretty well, and that we'll have some excellent products to look at next week. The other thing is that if any of you have any questions on the final essay, please don't hesitate to be in touch with me about that. I realize all these things are coming up and coming up fast, so if you have some questions about it, please don't hesitate to be in touch, okay? I don't know if any of you were affected by the ash, the volcanic ash from the equator, from the volcano over the weekend, but I certainly was. I was meant to go to a big student conference, the AGE Student Conference, European Students Conference in Leiden in Holland, and was not able to go, and nothing has been flying for the last several days. I did post a lecture that apparently for the workshop that I was doing at the student conference, and apparently 80 people came to talk about this course. So we're hoping that a lot of AGE students will be joining us in the future. If any of you want to see that, it's also posted on my YouTube channel, and it does have the 20 questions that I sometimes ask, and that some of you responded to earlier in the term. What's interesting in terms of what we've been talking about in terms of the volcano is that there may be some connection with climate change, and let me see if I can explain how that works. At the end of the last ice age, the rate of eruption of volcanoes in Iceland was 30 times higher than historic rates. And this is because the reduction in the ice load reduced the pressure in the mantle of the volcano, leading to decompression melting there. Since the late 19th century, the ice caps in Iceland have been shrinking yet further due to changing climate. This will undoubtedly, the volcanologists think, lead to additional magma generation. So we should expect more frequent and or larger eruptions in the future. If it's any indication of what's happened with regard to air travel, we may be going back to using ships more. So keep your eyes on that. I think it's going to be an interesting phenomenon to watch. At any rate, I found myself with a very relaxed few days. It was not all bad. Let me talk to you a little about the class for this week. I know you've got a lot of things going, but there are two things I'd really like you to watch of the 5 things that we put up this week. I mean, they're all excellent. The one on organic farming, the one on clean water, which Canada's Margaret Trudeau has been supporting, and one about a green energy future that's done by the Environmental Defense Fund. So you might want to take a look at those. But the one that students always love, and if I was sitting with you, I would show it to you, is the one that's titled The Education of a Reluctant Businessman. Now, there's a way in which it's too easy to say, oh, business, capitalism is bad, etc., etc. But there are some people who are really thoughtful about their activity in capitalism. And in this case, this is a talk, and you'll find it incredibly enjoyable, I have to say, with Yvon Chouinard. Chouinard is the founder. He's the founder of Patagonia, which originally started making mountaineering gear, basically. He was a mountaineer. And he's written a book about his own philosophy of management and business. I think it's called "Let My People Go Surfing." He's a very interesting guy, and when I've sat with students watching it, at the end of the film, they say, "I want to go work with him. I want to go work for Patagonia." So I do think that you should really take a look at this video. It's really good. And the other one, also excellent, is by Bill McKibben. Bill McKibben, I think, is one of the most thoughtful environmental activists around, and I think you'd find this particularly interesting. He's, American, and he's talking about what we need to do to really challenge global warming. Between McKibben and I know that sometimes the information you get from this course can be a bit heavy, depressing, some would say, but this will give you some hope and very, very positive. Junard has a plan called 1% for the Planet, in which participating businesses contribute at least 1% of their net annual sales, not just their net income, but their sales, to groups on a list of researched and proved environmental organizations. Maybe the Global Conversation should approach him. He does very interesting things with the company. They've been trying to make fleece clothing, fleece shirts and things like that, from recycled soft drink bottles, for example. So he's a thoughtful guy and really trying to do something. He also, during the course of his talk, he'll talk about the fact that, they don't want to grow that much. They had to set a limit on it. They were so popular that lots of people kept saying, well, let's grow, grow, grow. They don't want to do that. And that's why he jokes about letting his people go surfing, because they're close to the coast. And if, in fact, it's a good day for surfing, everybody's allowed to go who wants to go surfing. And he's very, very funny about it. I think you'll find this very, very enjoyable. I also want to remind you that this week on Thursday, it is Earth Day. This is the 40th anniversary of Earth Day, the 22nd of April. And as they point out on their website, the world is in greater peril than ever. While climate change is the greatest challenge of our time, it also presents the greatest opportunity. And it can be, as they say, a turning point to advance climate policy, energy efficiency, renewable energy, and green jobs. And the Earth Day Network is galvanizing millions of people around the world who make personal commitments to sustainability. So you too might want to take a look at that and see if there isn't something that you want to do. I'll send you links, of course, in the email telling you how to link into the Earth Day Network. Okay, I hope you have a good week. I hope you too will celebrate Earth Day. We'll be taking a look at how we might do that here in Derry. And I'll look forward to talking to you next week. All the best.